Haven't had an opportunity to watch KRYPTON Season 1 finale, The Phantom Zone. That's Season 1, Episode 10, The Phantom Zone. Stop listening now, major spoilers. Here we go. Let me just say this, man. This is a perfect 10 out of 10 star episode, man. Here are the notes. All right, look at all the pages of notes, man. This was absolutely one of the greatest Season 1 finales that I have ever witnessed, man. It takes me back to the Smallville Season 1 finale, and I'm not going to spoil that for you guys, but you should know how it ended, and it opened up the door for the possibility of you to start directly from that point, man, and I think that that's what happened tonight, man. Let's get right into it, guys. Please stop listening now if you haven't had a chance, man. Catch up and then come back and watch, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Let's get into it. And you guys can go ahead and start the comments, man. Comment about this show, man. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like. Give it a score, all that good stuff. Yes, we are absolutely doing a giveaway for this epic event, man. I don't know when the home video is being released, but that's what we're shooting for, man. And if I can find something from SYFY, I'm going to keep tweeting them all day and see if I can get something special, man. We'll see. Let's go. Picks up right where episode 9 left off. Brainiac is looking towards the city of Kandor, and he's just like, this is just nuts, man. So I'm actually watching it as I review, man, because it's like I told you, it's so great on the eyes. You know, if you are a fan of Man of Steel 2013, this is for you. This is the baby that Zack Snyder and David S. Goyer. This is the vision. This is their creation, man, and we get to see it in all of its glory on this show, man. It's really, really amazing, man. So I love how whenever Brainiac is looking out, it's so dark and gloomy, and just all of the hope is just disappearing. It's fading, man. And then Brainiac says, "Yes, I think it's time." And he looks at the. It's kind of like he's breaking, you know what I'm saying, the fourth wall. He's doing some Deadpool type stuff. He looks right at you. He looks right at you. And I guess he's saying to us as the fans, like, yes, it is time that you see exactly who I am, you know, and why the people fear me. And then all of a sudden, man, you get to see the ship. The ship, man, approaches Kandor. And it's, I can't describe it, okay? But let me see if I... let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can do it. All right, so check this out. Check this out. This is the ship, okay? This is Kandor. This is just what was laying around, man. Maybe, yeah. This even looks better. This is the nasal thing. So this is the ship. So it's coming over. It's like this, you know what I'm saying? And it has its tentacles, man. And then all of a sudden, there's the ship. There's the city. It's that giant compared to this. You know, that's not even. Gosh, let me go even smaller. Let me see if I can find something, man. I'm not gonna cut this either. I'm gonna actually keep it on. Let me see. What is this? What is that? What? Ah, here we go. Here's the ship. This this is Kandor. All right, so he just flies over, hovers over, man, and then he begins. You know. It's crazy, man, that he's able to do that. But anyway, okay, let's go. All right, so the ship approaches the city of Kandor, man, in order to, you know, get in a position to start collecting it, man. Snow is everywhere. So just imagine, you know, like, you remember how the show looked? You remember how the show looked at the beginning of the season? It looks like one of those what was that train movie, Snowpiercer, with Captain America? Snow is everywhere, man. It's crazy. It's chaos, man. All the people in the city are just, you know, screaming out, you know, in agony and pain, and they're running with chaotic stuff. There's no organization, man. You have SEG and his wife, man, who I now have the name, which I put over here, Nessa Vex. Along with LYTA and General Zod, they meet up and then they get this plan. The plan is to bring back Grandpa Soups, man. So VAL-EL is going to be brought back from wherever he is. I guess the dead, you know what I'm saying? Well, we thought he was dead inside of, you know, from episodes 1 through 9. We're thinking he's dead. All of a sudden, man, they do a flashback sequence, okay? So this takes us back to the beginning of KRYPTON, all right? So this was that emotional scene, man, where, you know, Grandpa Suits is killed. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much tell him, walk the plank, and then they open up the protective Kryptonian shield for Kandor, you know what I'm saying, to kind of keep all the cold out and keep the city, you know, living and thriving, man. I guess you could say it's like the son of Ra is surrounding the place, all right? So they open it up, he, you know, falls to his death. Well, what we didn't see is that he presses this button. And this was 14 years ago. He presses this button, and as he's falling, he transports himself over to the Phantom Zone, all right? So this is where he was stuck at the whole entire time, man. What I love about this moment is that they start to describe the Phantom Zone in a way that you, as the audience, will start to fear this place. You know, the way that we as comic book fans, you know what I'm saying, and people that have been watching Smallville, we know what this place means. And obviously people that have, you know, enjoyed Man of Steel, we know what the Phantom Zone is, man. It's death, okay? And nobody wants to go there. It was pretty cool, man, that they explained, man, that this Phantom Zone itself exists outside of the space-time continuum. And I thought that was pretty dope because I've been really watching a lot of Star Trek and just trying to trek myself around the universe, man, getting ready for the new movie that's coming out. And they have like a series of movies that they're going to be doing, man, which is really, really exciting, man. So General Zod was inside of the Phantom Zone. So when 14 years ago happened, on Krypton in the future, which I put on here, I put 2013. So the events of Man of Steel, because I'm kind of still using that as my guide point. Okay, so General Zod in the future, he's sentenced, you know what I'm saying, because obviously his actions, he's thrown into the Phantom Zone, man. So when you have the penile, you know, how do you want to say, the phallic symbols, they're shooting up into the sky, going inside the triangle, you know what I'm saying, which is representation of the woman's, you know, parts, okay? that was General Zod shooting up inside of Man of Steel to go inside of there, to inject himself inside of the Phantom Zone and birth out a new world order, if you will, you know what I'm saying? There was a whole bunch of symbolism inside of Man of Steel. Anyway, I digress. So whenever 14 years ago happened, VAL-EL got sent. You know, he dropped down, pressed the button, he goes into the Phantom Zone. General Zod gets sent up. Look at that. As above, so below, man. It's just crazy. But yeah, he gets sent up. He goes into the Phantom Zone. They meet, man. So VAL-EL and General Zod meet inside of the Phantom Zone. All right. So and then you're sitting here like, how? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, how? What's going on? They explain it perfectly, man. They say time and space have no meaning inside of the Phantom Zone. So if you remember, whenever Clark goes into the Phantom Zone, the same thing happened, man. You know what I'm saying? Even when Bizarro was coming out of it, the same exact thing happened. It was like time didn't even pass. Whenever we met all those demons inside of Smallville, whenever General Zod arrived at Smallville, all those different things that happened, man, no time passes. I love that, man. It was pretty cool. It's just like a little comic book fact, man. So General Zod met with VAL-EL inside the Phantom Zone, and General Zod stole what we're gonna call the Phantom Zone device. Okay, this is the device that you press, and that's going to transport you to the Phantom Zone, man. All right. And then I put on here, man, you know what I'm saying? Right there, I put on there, explains the complexity and brutality of the Phantom Zone perfectly, man. And that's what I love about it, because General Zod, he's not afraid of he's not afraid of anything, all right? But even he is hesitant to let anybody else go in there, because he's like, no, you'll be trapped. No, you'll get lost. No, it'll kill you. No, you'll never survive. He just keeps going back and forth. And then VAL-EL, whenever towards the end of the episode, he's like, you know, I'm gonna put myself back into the Phantom Zone. That was what SEG-EL had suggested. VAL-EL's like, no, that's not gonna happen. He's like, I'd rather kill myself than go back in there, man. So we don't know what kind of Phantom Zone we are gonna experience in season 2. They have to take us to the Phantom Zone. They have to, and then I'll get to that in a second, man. All right, so after that point, man, I went ahead and started doing it a little bit differently, man. I started doing like timelines, man. So now, you know, you guys, whenever you're at home, you can follow along with this timeline and kind of, you know, look at the video and see where we're at, man. So here we go. All right, so at the 8-minute 43-second mark, man, VAL-EL returns, man, and I have that in the explanation. It's like, VAL-EL returns, yeah! You know, it makes you go nuts, man, because at this moment, man, VAL-EL, he does. I wish they would have shown it, but it was a superhero landing, okay? I'm dead serious. I know his fist was on that ground because the camera's on his back. You see the cape. You hear the music. Dun, 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 and you're just like, ah! I think I'm going to put like the reaction right about here in the video. You know, you'll see it. And that was my reaction because I saw it. I was like, dude, this is so dope, man. It's just crazy. He returned. They played the music. Then there's a moment, you know what I'm saying, where SEG-EL and VAL-EL, they hug, man, and they get reconnected, man. And this was a moment at 9 minutes and 42 seconds, man. General Zod and VAL-EL, they're going to face off. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I put on there TBD, maybe season 2, because he says that. He's like, General Zod says to VAL-EL, he's like, you know, we can hold our drama or our beef until a later time. And I was thinking to myself, dude, I hope, because you know what I'm talking about, man. In Man of Steel, we had the same exact thing that happened, General Zod versus Jor-El. We know who won that. So imagine, dude, imagine how much hype this is if they do a General Zod versus the great grandfather, man. You know what I'm saying? VAL-EL, this is gonna be crazy, man. General Zod versus VAL-EL, man, for season 2. Obviously, at the end of the episode, some stuff changed, and obviously, you know, we're probably not gonna get there, but who knows, man? We'll see. Let me see. VAL-EL at the 10-minute mark, man. VAL-EL says that there's no way to stop Brainiac. He's very negative when he comes out of the Phantom Zone. I'm not gonna lie. He's like, listen, I've seen. Hold on, that's the wrong accent. He was like, listen, I've seen everything. There's no way that you're going to defeat Brainiac. You know, because he's all old and stuff, you know. But anyway. Yeah, he's just like, listen, I've seen every single possibility. So now we're like Doctor Strange, you know, he saw every single possibility and nothing works, man. 12-minute mark, man. This is when day 0 begins, man. This is when you start seeing. Yo, where's it at? Where's the top? All right. This is when you start seeing, you know what I'm saying, the ship coming in and it starts touching, you know what I'm saying, the tentacles start. They start wrapping up. They start wrapping up the city, man, and you know, kind of gift wrapping it, man. This is when you hear Brainiac, man, having a moment of like calling for worship. You know, he's like, "Listen, my people, I am providing you with eternal life." And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Listen to me. I'm not gonna lie. At this moment, bro, I would have absolutely got on my knees and be like, "Oh, I'm so not worthy. I'm so not worthy. You know, take me, Brainiac." Dude, it was so powerful, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't help but follow this dude. I'm sorry, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. I would have been so weak, man. Weak in my knees. So listen, man, Brainiac, man, he starts wrapping the city, man, using his ship. At the 13-minute mark, man, we get the evacuation of the city, and then this is the evacuation of the city plan, and this is where LYTA-ZOD, she decides to spark the rebellion, spark the fight, man. She's like, listen, I risk my life. You know, and they're like, no, we're not going to do it. We want to do it a different way. So she just goes off on her own, and you know, we'll get to that in a second, man. Check this out. The ship that Brainiac, his ship, you know what I'm saying? And from this point on, I'll start calling it by its name, the Collector of Worlds, okay? So this offers you eternal life. I mean, obviously Brainiac is the Collector of Worlds, but let's just call the ship, we're going to call it Collector of Worlds. I don't really, how do you want to say it? I don't really know how they're going to go into the inside of the ship later on. I don't know how they're going to do that, especially for season 2, but I want to see it fly, man. Anyway, I just put that out there. All right, and so what ends up happening whenever the Collector of Worlds gives you the eternal life, you are trapped in paralysis, man, for eternity. So everybody's just, you know, standing still like we're over in Japan, man, or China, and we're just paused. You know what I'm saying? And we're yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So we're paused, okay? We're absolutely paused, and we're that's how it is, man. And so they kind of show you that, dude. They do a flashback sequence with Strange, and that's the moment where we go back. Once again, we go back to the beginning of the season, and we start to see how things piece together. All right. So I was always wondering. I said, yo, what is he in the city for? Why is everybody standing still? Completely forgot, man. Paralysis, bro. That's what it is. So it explained everything, man. At this point, I stopped really kind of counting time, but we're at the 15-minute mark, man. It says, you know, LYTA and I put SEG's wife, but I know her name, you know, Nessa Vex, man. They team up at the 15-minute mark, man, and that's when they get this plan to just pretty much go without the boys because the boys are just not doing anything. VAL-EL, let me see, paints a grim future of endless possibility, man. So no matter what they do, Brainiac will win every single time. Okay, so there's only one option for them to do, and obviously we've seen it coming. Don't get me wrong, we've seen it coming. Dev-Em, who is alive now, who is back in action, man. And I'm telling you, man, listen, if you haven't watched KRYPTON, stop listening now, man. We are so deep inside of this. We are deep. I'm talking about deep in the woods, baby. So this is what happens, man. Please stop listening now. He comes back, all right? His arm is now metal. It's metal, man. It's Winter Soldier, you know, 2.0. It's so dope. It's so dope, man. And then what they did is to save money for the CGI. They covered up all this, put him in sleeves, and it's just his hand. But, dude, I can't wait, man. Trust me, I can't wait. I know what's going to... Yeah, you know. Everybody knows. We know what's going to happen, man. All right, so Dev-Em attempts to take control of this rebellion that's going on with the Sagittari. And inside of the Sagittari locker room, you know what I'm saying, where all the boys meet up and do boy things, they're like, you know, we're not doing this, you know, we're going to get killed, we're leaving, or something like that. So he's trying to calm them down. All of a sudden, man, LYTA-ZOD shows up, and she just straight code cocks this dude who's like the leader of the rebellion, who's not listening to Dev-Em. He's not following the ranks or authority. He's just being a coward. She cocks him out, done. Just clow. He's like, ugh. You know, and then he's out, all right? And then she's like, you know, let's do this. Let's you know, suit up and let's get ready to roll, man. And Dev-Em is impressed by that. So you start seeing that connection between those two, man. So next up, man, the Black Zero, man. All right, so next up, man, you have Jax-Ur, man, and the Black Zero group. They are, you know, having a plan to try to get to Kryptonopolis. That's where they're bound to, you know what I'm saying? And their plan is to take the Codex. This is where, once again, we go back to Man of Steel. Everything starts connected, man, with this DC universe. And I don't know if this is the whole point of calling it the DC universe, of having this launch of Warner Brothers, you know what I'm saying, having the online capabilities that we're going to have in 2019. But listen, from that point on, I was like, dude, everything's connected inside of this sci-fi universe, man. I don't know how it's going to work with DC, a lot of, you know, DCTV on the CW, but listen, we're starting to connect dots, man, and it was really, really beautiful, man. I'm serious, man. I was like tearing up, man. All right. So they have a plan to take the Codex, man. Nessa Vex, she has the same kind of similar plan, and that is just to get her child, man, Corvex, who we know that's going to happen. And it's like, it's not Corvette, it's Corvex, but it sounds like a Corvette, all right? But anyway, her whole yeah, I just lost it. Her whole plan is to get Corvex out of the danger zone, okay? And that leads her to have a confrontation with Jax-Ur, and that leads to a moment of truth, man, for both of them, all right? So what was a really, really awesome moment, man, there's this little device called the Oracle, kind of like the same way with Man of Steel, whenever, what is this name? For me, I think that Oracle kind of reminded me of God, I can't. What's the other one? There was this one. All right, so Oracle is inside of the Genesis Chamber. So if you remember in Man of Steel, they had Keylor and Keelix. They were the artificial AI robots, all right? And then we had that one sad scene, which I'm not going to talk about, but one of them burns up in the fire. This reminds me of Oracle reminds me of those robots, man. So that funny scene I was talking about, man, is with Nessa Vex. she holds a gun to Oracle, and she's like, release Corvex, or or you'll die. And then all of a sudden it fast tracks it, and then it's just one of like, it's like a moment where you can laugh, man, after all, because this whole episode was absolutely serious, man. And that's why I loved it so much. I think it's because it really did remind me and mirrored so much of Man of Steel. It was so serious, that tone, man. And I love that, man. If you notice on the wall in the background, it's very similar, man, to Man of Steel with the Jor-El scene of 2013. Just perfect, man. Perfect, absolutely perfect, man. All right, so after that, man, there's this plan by the man. Listen, General Zod is evil. Okay, he's an evil person. You thought Michael Shannon, his version of General Zod, was evil, man. At least with him, we had some sort of like honor. There was honor involved, man, and he wouldn't do certain things. Like, he wouldn't betray his people. This dude doesn't care about anything. I'm serious. All he cares about is the planet. He doesn't really care about the people in it. So he comes up with this idea for VAL-EL to be sacrificed. And then all of a sudden, man, he's like, listen, I'm gonna offer VAL-EL to Brainiac. Do you have a problem with that? And then SEG-EL's like, of course I have a problem with that. And then SEG-EL's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And he's like, would you rather sacrifice the future of millions for just one? You're a fool. and then you know, obviously, you know, we get to the point where he actually does do that, man. What ends up happening, man, to kind of distract SEG-EL to where he's really not paying attention, to kind of give us some backstory about General Zod, a little bit more, to kind of you know, to make us really resonate with him, man. And also to just drive home, you know, like General Zod he's focused on the mission, doesn't care about anything. General Zod tries to convince SEG-EL. He says, he tells a story about a future LYTA and the non-existence of Father SEG-EL's storytelling. That's what I said. So like whenever LYTA is telling General Zod about his past or whatever, you know, during bedtime stories or whatever, there's no mention of Seg. The only thing that she says, man, is that you were lost in the bottling of Kandor, and that's right there. That's you know what I'm saying, that's happening. You know, it's crazy, man, how he's from the future, he's in the past now, and all this stuff is just coming around. It's crazy, man. So Black Zero, man, they arrive at the general's so Black Zero arrives at the general's, god damn it. All right, so Black Zero arrives at the Genesis chamber. All right, Oracle and the Codex are there. This is that same location, man, that Nessa is in, or was in, I guess you can say. She's just walking on her way out. They're coming in, and then all of a sudden, man, Jax-Ur, man, she breaks this news. I call it the news of truth. She breaks truth to Nessa's about her future, about what Darren Vex was trying to do. And with this information, we now understand why Man of Steel, the prequel, you know what I'm saying, at the beginning of the movie, to kind of show you how Jor-El and everybody in General Zod fought and how the classes and all that, it all makes sense now, okay? We can blame Darren Vex, man, because this is his system. He stole the system from Jax-Ur. Jax-Ur created the Codex, all right? So if you remember, man, when General Zod, you know what I'm saying, where's the Codex? Dude, everything is coming. It's coming together, man. Your head as a Superman and DC Comics fan, it's blowing up, man. It's so much. It's so much, man. Like I said, it's so much, man. And that's what happens, man. She kind of breaks her silence on the Darren Vex future for Krypton, for Kandor, for everything, man. And that's how they have the class systems. That's why they have all this poverty and you know, resources being expended. This is just. It's an ongoing thing, man. It's crazy, man. All right. So we get to this point. This is one of my favorite points, man. I'm actually gonna read this out loud, okay? Because you gotta hear this, man. Okay. So this is my favorite moment, man. Well, second favorite moment, I should say, inside of the finale, man. And this comes from LYTA-ZOD, man. She is in command. All right, so you have all your troops and your soldiers, you know what I'm saying, the Sagittari, they're lined up, man. So this is her speech. This alien menace may have, god damn it, this alien menace may have conquered thousands of worlds, before, God damn it, the delivery's off. This alien menace may have conquered thousands of worlds before ours, but his reign of terror ends on Krypton, for he has never encountered the SEG-EL. May Rao's grace be your shield. I'm talking about, yo, it was so pumped up, man, you know, and her delivery of this SEG-EL, it is so dope. It is so dope, man. You can hear the accent. You can hear just everything, man, is just perfect, man. It's like, dude, this is like, it's like a speech, man, from Patton. And I'm sitting here like, yo, let me enlist right now, bro. I will get in that jet. And that's a good segue. I'll get in that jet and I will die. I would die for you, okay? Because she just motivated. She motivated everybody, man, and they got in those planes. And for me, you know, as a DC Comics fan, as someone who's been reading, you know, Superman for years now, as soon as they said that they were getting in planes, I said, you're dead. And that's what happens, man. So they're all flying, dude. It's actually, once again, we go back to Man of Steel 2013. It's a Zack Snyder view. I don't care what anybody says, bro. This is a Zack Snyder scene. It's cut from the same cloth. You can tell David S. Goyer was probably in there. He probably brought in Zack Snyder to do this scene. I'm telling you, man, you just got to see it. It's first person. It's third person. It's side views. It's spinning. It's so crazy. Slow motion. All this. All of a sudden, man, they're flying, you know what I'm saying, racing through Kandor to find and attack Brainiac. Brainiac is standing on, you know, this ledge looking out upon the city. He sees them coming. He sees them coming, bro. There's like, I'd say maybe, let's go with 15 to 20 ships. He holds up his hand, you know what I'm saying, and he just crushes it. That's it. He crushes it, man. And so what I put on here, I said Brainiac crushes the SEG-EL with the balling of his mighty fist. And that's what he did, man. He was just like, boom, and it was it, man. So, yo, let me get some examples, man. These cats were it was so crazy. I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest moments, man, because you're just like, they're dead. they're dead. So what ends up happening, man, is that, you know, LYTA, man, they cut back to the scene after the explosions. And you know the explosions on Man of Steel. Imagine that, but for television, okay? So they show it. They show it hitting buildings. They show it, man. We're back to Man of Steel. And that's why I'm so happy, I think, you know? So, yeah. That's why I'm so happy, man. So, They cut back to LYTA. LYTA is crying, you know, tears, man. She's so sad. And the reason why is because she just murdered them all, man. All fighters are dead. So at this moment, man, Dev-Em comes in there and he confronts her. He's like, listen, you did the best that you could. You did exactly what your mother would have done. Anyone in command would have made the same decision. You know, something like that. And then all of a sudden, you know, she holds him and he holds her. And there's this moment. Like I said, it's going to be a love triangle, man, between Dev, LYTA, and what you call it? I got to push play on the, I just not realized that. Let me go back and I'll catch up right here. Let me see. We're almost there. Right about, there we go. And I actually got the first person scene. The first person scene is at 22:48. And you can see it, man. Like I'm telling you, yo, let's just continue on, all right? Let's continue on, all right? So they, I gotta stop, yo. I gotta stop. Now, man, Brainiac just closed his fist. I had to watch that scene, man. I'm sorry, I had to watch that scene. After everything explodes, you know what I'm saying? They go back to the city. They see, you start to see General Zod and SEG-EL, man. They're pushing people forward, man, and making them move with momentum to get out of the city, to evacuate the city. So their evacuation plan is going. LYTA's attack Brainiac plan is going. Everybody's plan is pretty much working, man. We don't know who's working the best, but I think that they're working together. That's most important. So that's where SEG-EL, he calls, man, to let LYTA know that all the citizens are alive because of the sacrifice of a few. And she feels a whole lot better, man. She feels a whole lot better. But at that moment, she's embraced in the arms, man, of Dev-Em. And, you know what I'm saying, she's always going to choose. Every single time she'll choose Seg, man. There's nothing he can do about that, you know. And if he doesn't, then General Zod is not born. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, and as she's talking to him, to SEG-EL, on this little device, you can see in the background, you know, not focused, but you can see Dev-M just looking at her. And it's like, dang, bro. You know what I'm saying? I wish that song would come on, man, from like Usher, man, like You Got It Bad, because that's that's exactly what's going on, man. All right, so after that, Nessa, it switches back to Nessa and Jax-Ur, and they're sharing that moment, man. And this is when we find out, man. Now, listen, I'm telling you right now, stop listening now. If you have not watched the finale, man, of KRYPTON, stop. Seriously, get out of here. All right, here we go. It seems as if, all right, I'm going to get real close to say this, man, all right? It seems as if Nessa Vex, according to Jax-Ur, Nessa is a clone. So, yeah. She's a clone, man. So now we're talking about Clone Wars. We're going to the BBC, you know what I'm saying, to Orphan Black, okay? So this is why, like I told you, this is why I love this show. And I think that's why I'm talking about it for so long, because there's so many different elements to this, man. There's so many corners that they went around, and just to blow your mind, it's that crazy, man. That's where we're at. So there's this thing, man, called I think it's fusion. It's fusion. They call it fusion. It says oh yeah. Well, I'll put on there. We'll have to talk about this in another episode. But pretty much, she's a clone. There was this thing called fusion that happened, and she's no longer her original self. She's a clone of herself. And we find out that her mother was killed in a skimmer accident. Her and her mom, and then her dad saved her, man. You know, using this technology. Now, the technology, the door opens up. You know what I'm saying? And we get to have like it's almost like the same situation in Man of Steel, except it's a little bit different. Instead of the water where Jor-El was at, where he dives in to get the codex, this is like a orangish glowing goo, okay? And that's when we learn that that Jax-Ur is the one that created the codex. She created the codex, man. It's just crazy, man. If you really think about that, it's just nuts, man. So she created the codex. Her father, Darren Vex, stole the information and created Nessa, man. So that's why she's always been, you know, kind of different. And then here's what's crazy too, is because we had a little bit of foreshadowing in the episode. Remember when Darren Vex went in to kill his daughter? She was a clone at that point. You know what I'm saying? She was cloned using the same technology that VAL-EL had. And this is how great these writers are, man. It's just crazy, man. It's absolutely nuts, man. All right, so at the 32-minute mark, man, General Zod approaches Brainiac. We find out at that moment, man, and I'm fast forwarding to it right now. We find out that at that moment that that Brainiac is a 12th level intellect. All right, he knew what's it called. He knew General Zod was coming. He's just sitting there watching it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, man. If you remember back in 2013 with Man of Steel, I don't want to talk about it, but Kal-El's original mom. All right, I don't want to mention it anymore, man. It's already getting me sad. But the moment where she looked out upon the destruction of KRYPTON, I'm done. Yeah, man. I gotta go. It's me every time, man. Because Laura, she's such a great, you know, she's a great character, man, in Man of Steel, and then, you know, to have her destroy like that, man, it's just crazy, man. And then Keylord, you know, died too, you know, the robot and stuff. But man, I tell you, man. Anyway, that is the same exact moment that we get to see Brainiac, man. Brainiac's looking upon the destruction of KRYPTON and Kandor. He's looking at the destruction, and it's the same exact scene that you see in Man of Steel with the destruction of KRYPTON. So he's looking at the destruction of Kandor, and it's just crazy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful destruction. And then he starts going into, you know, his Brainiac ways, telling General Zod, you know, like, I know that you're lying, you know, and if you are telling the truth, you know, why do I need you? You know what I'm saying? So he does his hands like that. General Zod, listen to this, man. General Zod kneels to Brainiac, okay? This is a moment that happens, man, right around like the 32-minute, 32:15, 32:10-minute mark in the show. General Zod is on his knees, okay? This is serious, man. So 32:40, General Zod is still on his knees. He's bowing down, man. He's literally bowing down to Brainiac, okay? So he's like, why do I need you? Why can't I, use my, Brainiac powers and just go into your mind? So he goes into General Zod's mind, man. He reads General Zod's mind, and he finds out that he's telling the truth, man. We go back to the Fortress of Solitude, man. SEG-EL and VAL-EL are in there. They're kind of arguing, and SEG-EL tries to convince VAL-EL to fight against Brainiac, but VAL-EL's like, no, nothing's gonna work. I might as well, just kill myself. And then SEG-EL's like, listen, why don't we put you, consider, taking you back and putting you in the Phantom Zone? And he's like, no, there's nothing that you can do. I would rather die 1,000 deaths than go back into the Phantom Zone. And that's when this moment happens. And I'm telling you, man, I lost it right here. I lost it. So they show this shot, okay? They show the shot, man, of... So they show the shot, man, of the Day Zero or the World Collector. So they show the shot. So they show this shot of the World Collector, of the Day Zero machine, whatever you want to call it, of Brainiac's ship. They show it over Kandor, and you start to see I guess you say the final stage before it lifts it up and collects it, okay? So this film comes over the sides, and, it's the dome, you know what I'm saying? So the dome starts to collapse. And as it collapses, the paralysis sets in. So they cut to this scene. You see LYTA-ZOD, she's looking around, everybody's frozen. And she's like, oh my God, Dev-M, and we gotta go. And she turns to Dev-M. Dev-M is frozen. And then the camera turns back around from Dev-M back to LYTA-ZOD. LYTA-ZOD is frozen, okay? She's in paralysis. It begins. And then this is the moment, man, where I'm talking about, bro, if you are a DC Comics fan, if you're a Superman fan, if you are a Smallville fan, I'm talking about Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League. If you're a fan of any DC Universe animated film, if you're a fan of the comic books, you are going to lose it. You are going to absolutely lose it, man, because that's what I did. And I got pages. I went pages. I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is crazy. I put that on there. I wrote that. At the 34-minute, 30-second mark. At the 34-minute, 20-second mark, Brainiac enters the Fortress of Solitude. Yo! I'm talking about, man, the look on VAL-EL and SEG-EL, man, their faces just, the jaws drop, they're like, because VAL-EL's like, well, I guess we're out of time, and that's it. Brainiac comes in and he starts to just take in all the information. You can see him collecting data. He looks up at VAL-EL's, constellation, universe, galaxy thing. And it starts, at that point, man, I'm like, dude, it can't go right. Because number one, saying Superman's cape is hanging in there. And I don't think that he notices it, I didn't see him look at it or nothing like that. I didn't hear anything about it. Nothing like that happens. Because I guess he's focused, Brainiac is focused on trying to, obviously collect the data from VAL-EL. And then all of a sudden, SEG-EL pulls out a pistol and he puts it up to his grandfather's head, man, and he's like, yo, I'll blow his brains out, okay? And then Brainiac's like, I don't believe you. And then all of a sudden he's like, and I also don't believe that this is the real VAL-EL. And he uses his finger, he flicks his finger, and SEG-EL flies off, man. He just hits the wall. And then all of a sudden he goes through and he swipes through VAL-EL. He knows now that VAL-EL is a hologram. All right, so at this point, man, I put Brainiac is just too strong, and then I don't have anything else because I started just watching what was going on, man. All of a sudden, man, and I'll do this piece by piece, man, and then we'll get to the end of this thing. We're almost done, guys, so hang in there. All right, so SEG-EL, man, he runs out, he presses this button, and that opens up the Phantom Zone, and it starts to actually capture Brainiac, man. And at this point, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, there's no way that you're gonna actually use the Phantom Zone on Brainiac. He's too powerful. He's Brainiac. And then all of a sudden, man, at the 36-minute, 25-second mark, okay, you start to see the stitching. Listen to this, man. I lost it, man. It was just straight goosebumps, man. And as I'm watching it now, dude, I'm still getting chills, man. You start to see Superman's cape come back together, man. It just, it's like somebody's knitting it, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody's sitting there crocheting, so I'm just sitting here doing Superman's cape, and I don't know, maybe it's Ma Ken or something. I don't know, man. At that point, I was just like, yo, this is just crazy, man. It came full circle. You know what I'm saying? We learned about the cape in episode 1. It's now episode 10, season finale. And now we understand. We understand the reason why, man. Because Strange sacrificed himself, man, for this. The whole reason, everything's there. You know what I'm saying? So the Superman's cape gets stitched up. All of a sudden, man, you see this tentacle, a Brainiac tentacle comes down and it grabs SEG-EL, man. And at this point, man, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, yo, they're not gonna. This is the first season. You're not killing off anybody. You're not going to send, the most important person, to Superman's life into the Phantom Zone, because Phantom Zone is like death. But as he's doing it, as he's still, Brainiac's trying to grab him and suck him into the Phantom Zone, the cape, Superman's cape, is still coming together, man. So I guess it's destiny, man. Everything's perfect, man. Because if this happens, you know what I'm saying, then that happens, with Smallville. I mean, everything, Man of Steel, all the events, everything happens, man. And then, we end up, SEG-EL's like, listen, let me go. He tells his grandfather, he's like, let me go, Val. This has to be done or whatever. And then he gets sucked in there, man. And your heart breaks, man. Because at that moment, that changes everything. That changes history. And the only two people that are left inside of the Fortress of Solitude as it goes dark, the Fortress of Solitude is going dark, is just VAL-EL and General Zod. So now we go back to, the beginning. We go back to the beginning, man. And so now we go back to the beginning at the 9-minute 42-second mark. It's General Zod versus VAL-EL. Okay, so it's no longer, season 2, saying it's no longer TBD, it's now. Let them fight. You know what I'm saying? And they're just looking at each other. They're looking at each other. All of a sudden you start to see Brainiac's ship, lets go, the cords let go, the cables let go, the dome starts to disappear. And then all of a sudden, man, you see this like I guess you can call it the Light of Ra shoots up. And then, the Light of Ra, the original dome, goes back around Kandor, and Brainiac's ship is just, fades away, And then the people that are in paralysis begin to light up. And so when they're in paralysis, it's all darkness. It's very dark, very, very gloomy doomy. But whenever they come out of paralysis, whenever they come back into the light, it's hope, man. It's hope. All right, so they captured Superman in all of this without Superman being there. They captured it. They captured the comic book, Krypton. They captured everything, man. They captured everything. And then all of a sudden, man, you see LYTA, she runs up to Dev-Em, she embraces him, and then something's happening. You start to feel, because, that's not supposed to happen. But VAL-EL looks at General Zod. He looks away, and then he's like, okay, let me get this idea. He's like, I'm going back into the Phantom Zone. I'm gonna go save, I'm gonna go save him. I'm gonna save him, man. And then all of a sudden, Grandpa Soups gets pulled back from the projector for the Phantom Zone, the button, and then General Zod, this is what really disappointed me. I was like, yo, this dude is, as much as I like General Zod, I like the idea of him, you know what I'm saying, what he stands for sometimes, especially with Michael Shannon's portrayal, which I think he has the same exact portrayal, it's just a little bit darker, man. He doesn't have any sort of morals. There's no, it's Krypton or nothing, okay? So he pulls out this gun, he shoots up the Phantom Zone generator, if you want to call it, the button that brings the down, man, that they set the trap for, you know. Shoots it, man. And when he shoots that display, the rest of the Fortress of Solitude goes dark as far as above. All right, the only thing that is different, you know what I'm saying, or the same is just below. So above is gone. You know, it's just changed. And then when he did that, at that moment, you know what I'm saying, you see Superman's cape. It's hanging there. It's stitched back up 100%. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? And you're sitting here thinking to yourself, like, this is it. This is when, you know, Superman comes into, when he comes into, you know, the show. This is it. This is going into season 2. All of a sudden, man, VAL-EL and General Zod are looking at Superman's cape, and it begins to fade away. All right, so listen. Stop listening now if you haven't watched the finale. I'm serious, man. This is so important, man. Stop. The symbol of El, the House of El, fades away, and another symbol comes into the place. I'm not going to tell you what it is, okay? I think you already know. And then all of a sudden, man, it fast forwards in time. It says 1 month later, and you see General Zod in full statutory general uniform, military gear. You know what I'm saying? He has a cape on with his house, his House of Zod, obviously. Dev M is standing to his right side, and then LYTA is to his left side, and he's delivering the speech, man. So if you remember, inside of Man of Steel in 2013, we didn't get to this point. All right. So if General Zod would have successfully defeated Superman, got the Codex, completed his mission after he escaped the Phantom Zone, this is the reality. This is the reality. This is the future. This is the world that we will be living in, man. It blows your mind at this point. And he's letting everybody know, he lets every single class know that no longer will there be any citizen that doesn't do their part. All citizens will serve in the military. They will serve inside of the ranks of the Sagittari. No excuses. So you see Kim, he grabs a helmet and he looks terrified. He's going to war. Everybody's gonna serve, man. And then you see VAL-EL inside of the Fortress of Solitude, which is pretty much in ruins, and he's trying to, you know, sit there and how do you want to say it? Rebuild the device that can communicate and bring the the Phantom Zone back and rescue SEG-EL. And then, you know what I'm saying, Jax-Ur and Nessa, man, they arrive inside of the Fortress of Solitude, and there's a moment, you know what I'm saying, there's a moment between VAL-EL and Jax-Ur, you know what I'm saying, and there's a moment. And then all of a sudden, man, at the 40-minute, 49-second mark, we get to see a familiar face, man, in the future. In the future, but in our world, you know what I'm saying? And there's a statue. It cuts the scene from that familiar face, okay? And then all of a sudden, you see this statue erected, and it has its fist like this against his chest, and it's General Zod. It's a statue of General Zod, and that's the speech that he was giving. That was the speech that he was giving to the entire, you know, population of houses at that time, you know what I'm saying? The big assembly, the big stadium, the big coliseum. And he lets them know, man, that they will kneel before Zod. We will go across the galaxy conquering places. And then you see each house kneel, you know? So you remember back in Man of Steel in obviously 2013, you know, Zack Snyder's masterpiece, we talk about, you know, on whose authority? And then he's like, mine. And he pulls out the gun, General Zod, he shoots her in the chest. And she hits back, the crown comes off, you know what I'm saying? This is the moment, man. This is when these guys, when we're looking at this scene at 41:27, this is them voluntarily kneeling and submitting to General Zod's authority. They know who he is. They fear him. They are on their knees and they're bowing down, man. They are kneeling before Zod, man. And this is just crazy, man. So you see a little bit of a doubt inside of LYTA and Dev-M. You know what I'm saying? It kind of seems as if either Dev-M is a little upset, a little angry, and then LYTA, she just looks absolutely terrified, period. You know, she looks sad, she looks terrified. I mean, obviously, you know, she's still missing SEG-EL. And then, you know, the auditorium, they applaud, and then the screen goes to black, man, and that's it. That's it, you know? Or is it? Or is it? Keep watching. So, yo, that noise that you just heard, man, that was the glass breaking, a fist going through, and then the reveal, man, that Doomsday is out. Doomsday is coming, man. Now, if you remember, inside of this season, you know, I think it was like right around episode number 5, 6, or 7, right around that time, they tell you that whenever he gets out, whenever Doomsday gets out, whatever is the biggest threat, he goes for that first. So now, listen to this, man. This is what I think is going to happen. It's going to be Doomsday versus General Zod. And then we have a possibility to have the first portrayal of a minority Superman, if you understand what I'm saying. A Superman of color is coming, and I'm hoping that it's going to be who I think it is. I don't want to guess yet, but I'm hoping that it is who I think it's going to be, and if that happens, we'll see, man. But I think I know who it's going to be. I really do, just because of the symbol on the back, and we've seen it before, man. So I'm hoping that that's what happens, but we never know, man. And I think it'll be very bold for SYFY to do that, man. I mean, I've waited so long, man, to see that. I don't want to see, you know, any kind of crossover where Superman comes from Supergirl or none of that crap. I want to see them be bold, man. And to be honest, man, I would really like to see. They have this Asian Superman that has. He's been on all the covers on the Facebook page. I want to see that guy. I don't know anything about him, but I saw a post from DC Comics, man, and he looked dope. He looks so dope, man. So maybe they'll do that, but who knows? Obviously, you have to have the blood of that house, that symbol that's on the back now, which is not the House of El. We know what house it is. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting, man. But like I said, I absolutely loved the season 1 finale. It was perfect, man. And as you can tell, man, I've been talking about this, I think, for like probably in 30 minutes to an hour, maybe, you know. And yeah, I'm not gonna stop talking about it. I'll probably have a couple more videos, man, because I'm gonna keep watching this over and over. This is my Man of Steel 2. This is my Man of Steel prequel that I wanted to see. This is the show that I've been waiting for. This is the DC film universe. This is the DC TV universe. This is the DC universe moment I've been waiting for, and it finally arrived, man. And I'm so happy at just how great the quality is, you know. And I can't say anything else, man. I gotta go. I wish I could sit here all night, but I can't, man. I gotta get some stuff done. But we'll be back and we'll talk about it and stuff. Right, guys. Hey, leave your comments, subscribe. Comment, subscribe, share, and seriously, man, get ready for the giveaway, okay? We are going to be giving away KRYPTON, okay, on Translucent Origin, KRYPTON, something, either the comic books, something DC Comics, you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of stuff that I'm getting rid of, too. You can check on the eBay. It's in the link is on my, the front of my channel, okay? All those links are there, but my collection is up for sale, man. Hats, toys, games, anything that you can think of that has to do with DC Comics and comic books, it's all up for sale. And I'm hoping that, you know, this giveaway is successful, man, because we have officially, and this is a good time to talk about that too, since I'm finished with this. It's a good timing because, you know, it's a celebration of everything. I've officially looked at the numbers, okay, and yes, it is true that this channel is at 3,500 plus subscribers, man. So we hit the mark. And now we're trying to climb. We're trying to get to 4,000. We're trying to get to 5,000. The goal, 10,000, okay? And beyond. But the next goal that we're trying to hit is 4,000. Share it. And we do have a giveaway for that, for the 3,500. It's going to be good. It really is, because on the 25th of May, something comes out for PlayStation. And I'm a really huge fan of this game. And I'm going to do a giveaway for that game on the channel to celebrate the 3,500 subscribers, man. So I appreciate it, guys. Bravo, man. Bravo to SYFY, to the cast, to the crew, man, everything, man. Before I get out of here, I'm going to make sure that I read the description on IMDb. It says, SEG races to save his city from taking... God damn it. SEG races to save his city from being taken over as a bottling... SEG races to save his city from being taken over as the bottling of Kandor begins. This episode has no director on IMDb, so if anybody knows the director, please, man, let me know. We do have the writers, man, Chad and James. They've been doing an amazing job on the series, man. This episode, man, you know, had Cameron and Georgina and Sean and Colin and Elliot and Ann and Aaron and Ramus and Willis and Blake and obviously Ian, Hannah, Nicholas and David inside of it. Those are the roles, or the cast, and then you know, they play, you know, SEG-EL, LYTA, Adam, General Zod, Darren, Jaina, who is actually in credit only. And the reason why I didn't really see her in the episode, I think I saw her in the beginning, but not in the real episode, and they kind of explain that too. Dev, and then Kim, and then Nessa, and Brainiac, and then VAL-EL, and then Jax-Ur, and then Mal, and then Yimgar. So that was a new person that we saw tonight. But like I said, 10 out of 10 stars, man. This episode aired on May 23rd, which is yesterday. It's 5 o'clock. No, actually 6 o'clock. It's 5:56. It's 6 o'clock in the morning on May 24th. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts that I've stayed up this long, man, talking about this show. All right, I started at 2. Yeah, I started at 2, and now I'm watching it, man. I would have had the review up a little bit earlier, but obviously LeBron James and the Cavs played tonight, and we lost, or yesterday, I should say, and we lost, so this made up for it, man. 10 out of 10 stars, man. Please support KRYPTON and continue watching it. Don't let it be like Lucifer and the rest of these shows that get canceled, man. Just support the show. Right here, guys. That's it. Oh, wow.